Hey, what's going on, guys? Dragonflight pre-patch is finally here, and so I wanted to wrap up Shadowlands Season 4 and give my thoughts going forward into Dragonflight, not only about the expansion itself, but also about what my plans are for this channel going forward. Starting off with Shadowlands Season 4 though, that to me is the perfect end to an expansion. Instead of the months of nothing we normally get at the typical end of an expansion, getting a bunch of for fun and experimental content at the end is really great to see Blizzard do, and it's really awesome to see them trying some new things, such as the Fated Raid system. Now, I thought the Fated Raid system was actually really cool for a few different reasons. First of all, if you did miss part of the expansion, it gave you an opportunity to go back and do the raid that you missed while it's current content again. Or, if you are someone that played through the entire expansion, this gave you an opportunity to go back and maybe do one of your favorite raids. For me personally, I was really excited to go back and do Castle Nathri again. It's definitely my favorite raid of this expansion, and probably one of my favorite raids of all time. It was also nice to go back to Sanctum of Domination again, and not have to worry about the domination shards since Blizzard decided to disable them. I also enjoyed getting to see the fated affixes in the raid. I felt that they provided a nice little twist on some of the fights, and they were largely there to support you and actually make the fights a bit easier as well, so these were pretty well done. I thought they were kind of interesting and would like to see them do something similar in the future. Maybe not necessarily in every season, maybe sometime towards the end, or at least in another Season 4 like concept at the end of Dragonflight. And if you did clear all of the raids, at least on normal difficulty or higher, you get the Jigglesworth Senior mount. Can never complain about getting free stuff like this. This is actually a pretty cool mount. Along with the Fated raids, getting a new bad luck protection system like the Dinar token system was also really refreshing to see. Getting up to 3 of these tokens per season that allow us to purchase either a trinket or a weapon from the raid can definitely help keep people motivated to go back and continue raiding, and people have been asking for a system like this for a while, so it's nice to see Blizzard finally listening to that feedback. The confounding cipher system also went hand in hand with this, another great bad luck protection system. If say you can't get something to drop on mythic difficulty, but you got that item to drop on heroic difficulty, then you get to upgrade it to mythic item level just by killing mythic bosses and getting these ciphers. I think it really helps to keep people invested in doing these raids. Season 4 also began with the creation catalyst unlocked right away. I think everyone loved this change, not having to wait 6 weeks for this to unlock and upgrade our tier sets. You could even have your full tier set upgraded by the end of the first week if you're really dedicated to grinding out some raids and Mythic Plus, and of course a bit of luck there with the drops. Along with this, Valor was uncapped from the beginning, meaning you could grind out Mythic Plus as much as you wanted, and it felt rewarding the whole time, whereas in the past it felt like, okay, I'm going to fill up my Great Vault. At that point, I'm probably Valor capped for the week, so now I don't really have any reason to keep grinding Mythic Plus unless I'm just going for raiding. The uncapped Valor was honestly one of my favorite parts of the season. The fact that I could sit there, grind content that I enjoyed doing, and feel a noticeable gain to my character while doing it is honestly when I think WoW is at its best. Finally, the Mythic Plus rotation was definitely the best part of Season 4 to me. I'd been saying so long with friends that they should bring back some of the older Mythic Plus dungeons and add them into the rotation just to keep the seasons feeling a bit fresh. And finally, they did that this season by bringing back all of the old mega dungeons in Tazavesh, Mechagon, and Karazhan, and they did a community vote for 2 dungeons from Warlords of Draenor to bring back and turn into Mythic Pluses. Now this is really great because some of my friends that play RuneScape have been telling me for so long how over there in RuneScape land they get to do community votes for all sorts of different things and how WoW should do something similar. So I really like the fact that Blizzard did that with these, and I hope that we do get to see them doing some things like this again. It's also great because it shows that Blizzard has an appetite for bringing older dungeons that didn't have Mythic Plus up to speed and turning them into Mythic Plus dungeons. And I think we're seeing this again in Dragonflight by seeing another WoW dungeon brought up to speed, as well as a dungeon from Mists of Pandaria being brought up to speed. So that is going to be really cool going forward. Makes me really excited for the future and what dungeons they could actually turn into Mythic Pluses. After doing essentially the same dungeons for the past 2 years, it felt great to finally start doing some different dungeons again. Even if Tazavesh was still there, that one had only been in the pool for Season 3, so it didn't feel bad to continue doing that. And even though I had done some of the dungeons in the past, because it had been so long since the last time I did them, they felt kind of new again. The rotation for Season 4 was also pretty solid. I enjoyed doing really all of these dungeons, and there wasn't any that I minded running over and over, aside from maybe one in particular. Okay, Karazhan lore, it wasn't actually that bad after all the nerfs came through, but it definitely wasn't my favorite to do, and it did feel a bit longer compared to the others. Aside from Karazhan lore, I really did enjoy doing all of these dungeons though. Selia's Gambit and Mechagon Junkyard are definitely the S tier ones for me. I could have ran these all day long and I would still enjoy it. I love the fights in these. Streets of Wonder, Mechagon Workshop, Karazhan Upper, all also very solid dungeons. Had a ton of fun doing these. This was the first time that I did the Return to Karazhan dungeons as well, so really fun to get to experience that for the first time. And then I did run the Mechagon ones back in BFA, which I really enjoyed these, so I was happy to see these come back. Both of the Warlords of Draenor dungeons, Grimrail Depot and Iron Docks, ranked at B tier for me. I thought these were both solid picks, but they didn't necessarily do anything to stand out above the others to me. And then lastly, of course, I had Karazhan lower at C tier. Like I said, this got better after the nerfs, and I really did enjoy the boss fights in here. There's just so much trash in between them that it really extends the length of the dungeon, and it felt like I spent way more time in here than anywhere else. I also want to mention Shrouded, which was the seasonal affix for Season 4. I thought this was a pretty simple and straightforward affix which fit well into the season. Probably wasn't my favorite affix of Shadowlands, but the simplicity of just going and killing something and getting bonus stats from it was kind of refreshing and a nice way to end the expansion. The only downside was that the Nothrazim infiltrators had an ability that put a moving pool on the ground that if you stepped in it, you were put to sleep. This on its own wasn't bad, but a lot of the dungeons had some floor clutter that could kind of block out this pool from being seen. Karazhan Lower, for example, had some carpets throughout the dungeon that the pools could sometimes go under and be mostly covered up by, and that was a bit annoying, but overall, I still enjoyed the affix. Last thing I want to say about Mythic Plus is that I did track all of the runs I did for Mythic Plus in a Google spreadsheet this year, and I actually recorded videos of each run as well, and they're all linked to in the spreadsheets. I thought this was fun just to get some more insight on the runs I did. I won't go too in detail on it, but in total I ran 66 Mythic Pluses, 42 of which were in time, 10 were overtime but completed, and 14 were disbands. I ran all these in a span of 6 or 7 weeks because I stopped playing around the time that the Wrath of the Lich King Classic Fresh servers launched, and I was by no means perfect, but I think if you looked at my first Mythic Plus video of the season compared to my last Mythic Plus, I think you'll definitely see that I did improve throughout the season, so that was definitely exciting to see. And I actually managed to push up to getting a 20 key done for the first time ever, which I was pretty excited about because I pugged my way all through it, and I was playing on Enhancement Shaman, which is definitely not the most loved spec for Mythic Plus, so I was happy to get up there. I know it's not as high key as a lot of people push, but for me it's the first time I really tried to push past 15 keys and to get up and pug my way to a plus 20. I was pretty excited about. Alright, that is enough about Mythic Plus. The last thing that I want to say about Season 4 is that I actually had an awesome time playing it, and overall it kind of sucks because it shows that Shadowlands had so much potential here to be fun. There's so many things in Season 4 and so many things that were actually introduced throughout Shadowlands that were really, really good. However, Blizzard always got in the way of themselves, and it made the expansion more disappointing than it really should have been. Season 4, definitely a great end to it, and hopefully the momentum from this being a good patch carries over going into Dragonflight and going forward. And that'll bring us up to Dragonflight. So I want to let you guys know what the plans are for this channel going forward in the future. First thing, I will definitely be posting plenty of Enhancement Shaman gameplay of Mythic Plus and raids going into Dragonflight, similar to what I did in Season 4. I'll probably also be playing some more alts in Dragonflight because it seems a bit more alt friendly than Shadowlands was, so not sure exactly what other classes I'm planning on playing, but I'm sure you'll see some videos of me playing some other things outside of just Shaman. Probably be checking out Evokers and Drakthir. I'm not a big range player, but it's a new class, so I got to check it out. And of course, I'll be posting some videos of me leveling and even some talent setup type videos as well. And with Blizzard introducing the solo queue rated arenas, I'm actually pretty excited to do those and try those out. I'm definitely not a great PvP player, but I really do like PvP in WoW, so I'll probably be checking that out and trying to learn some more and have some fun with that. Lastly, I will probably post some videos of non-WoW gameplay at some point in the future. There's not really anything coming out right now that I'm super interested in playing through and posting, but I'm sure there will be some things in the future that I want to play, and I'll probably throw up those videos as well. So Anyways, that's going to do it for this video today. As always, thank you to anyone who has watched all the way through, and hope you guys come back for the next one.